Hi, welcome to Over the Hill Homesteaders. Buggy and Blanco and I are here today, and John's not going to be with us today, but he sends his love, and we are moving forward. So, Buggy, you go on, sit down. Good boy, he's hot. So, I just have some explaining to do. Hail broke loose on the homestead on Sunday morning, and it was just a regular old Sunday, getting ready to go to church. We fed the dogs, we got the gardens all watered, and church was wonderful last Sunday. We had such a good time, and usually after church on Sunday, we like to go and get a little bite to eat. So we did, and then we started our trek home. We had a lot of projects to do. We're real excited about getting those done, and so we got home, and I immediately went out to the garden. John, I think, was watching some videos, and maybe he took a little nap. He usually does after church on Sunday. And so I was out in the garden just working away, and I hear John calling me. And so I come on in, and he said, "Babe, something's wrong with me." And I noticed that he was stammering a little bit, and his voice was a little bit slurred. And so we came in the house, and we decided to just pray and see what God wanted us to do. So we did, and we both felt a peace just to hold on a little bit and see how time went by. We didn't want to, get all fearful and everything. So we decided just to sit it out for a while. And if I wouldn't have known better, I would have known my husband was drunk. But John doesn't drink. We don't even have any liquor in the house. So, but that's how he was acting. And a little while went by, and he decided he wanted to go for a walk. So I said, "Okay, well, I'm going with you because I know, he couldn't do it by himself." So he took his walking stick, and we went down the road a little bit. And on our way back, our neighbor was putting out her garbage can, and we started to talk with her. Well, she was a nurse for years, and she was noticing something that we didn't know. We had no clue. And she said, right now, to the hospital. And she gave us directions of what hospital to go to, and walked us home, and we got ready to go, and off we went. And so we got to the ER, and chaos happened. It was just very chaotic, and it was quite a time in ER. The nurses were wonderful. He had wonderful care, but it was a little bit on edge because they didn't know what was going on with John. They couldn't get a blood pressure reading. They started throwing blood pressure cuffs, and they started getting new ones, and this one wasn't right, and this one was too small, and let's do it manually, and they weren't getting a number, and so it was just very chaotic and kind of hard to go through. So finally, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I decided to come home. Things had quieted down, and so I decided to come home. I got home about 4:30, and so I got a couple hours sleep, and I got back to the hospital the next day, and I'm not sure when it was, but I guess it was in the morning. The neurologist came in and gave us the diagnosis, and it was a little bit shocking. But John had had a stroke, a pretty sizable stroke, and so his right-hand side was affected. He couldn't move his right-hand side at all, but the concern was they were trying to regulate his blood pressure. They couldn't get his blood pressure regulated. In the ER, it had gone up to 322 on the top number, and that's the reason they were having such a hard time and things were so confusing is after 300, it doesn't register on the blood pressure cuff, and so that's what their concern was. So that day, I guess it was that day, or maybe it was the next day, I can't remember. Time is kind of a blur. But Kara came, our sweet daughter from California came, and she stayed with me and helped me, and it was such a blessing having her there. She had her daddy in stitches. He laughed and laughed and laughed, and she just made his stay in ER a whole lot better. So they're still trying to regulate his blood pressure at that point. He was in ER for, 4 days. No, I'm sorry, not in ER. He was in ICU for 4 days, regulating his blood pressure. They finally got it. So on, I think it was Friday, they transferred him to the stroke ward, and he was very comfortable there. He got some therapy, some physical therapy. He noticed that he could slightly move his right thumb, just slightly, and he could move his right foot slightly. So that was good. That what's happening is the brain is cutting off the way for him to move his right hand side. It's just the stroke kind of erased that. So, but with therapy, it will come back, and we're believing it's going to come back 110%. So, he had wonderful nurses in ICU, in ER, in the stroke ward. As we're speaking today, they are going to be transferring him down to what he calls boot camp. He's going to boot camp at rehab at the hospital in Branson. So he'll be there. They're guessing that he'll be there for about 100 days. And after 100 days, they, go through all his stuff that he's been doing and moving forward, and then they'll decide what to do at that point. So we just want to invite you to pray with us, and because we believe that John is going to come through this completely. He's believing that a year from now, he's going to look back in July of 2018, and this is just going to be a memory, that he had. And maybe not the most wonderful memory, but it'll be a good one. We've had many, many, many blessings come out of this. Family, it's been wonderful with family. Kara coming out, being able to talk with his family and my family, and the church is just blessing us with their prayers. Our friends and our neighbors are just amazing. I can't say how wonderfully my boss at work let me off for a couple days and just blessed us immensely, because I just needed to put my attention on him, on John. So anyway, if you would like to join with us and pray, we're just believing every day John's going to get a little bit better and a little bit better. I'll come back and I'll give you some updates, and maybe I can go to the boot camp 1 or 2 days and film, and we can see John's progress. So John would love to hear any comments, any love, anything you want to send to him. If you'd like to do that, you can do that below. We have a comment section down below. Or if you'd like to send him an email, he'd love to read that. Or send him pictures, he's going to have a lot of time for a while. So our email is overthehillhomesteaders@gmail.com, if you'd like to do that. And I'll just say it again, if you haven't subscribed to our website, we'd love you to do that. Even if you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, we still would love you to subscribe here to this one. So thank you, and thank you for your prayers. God bless you, and don't forget, love God, love people, impact lives. Okay, God bless. See you soon.